Chronicles of Downton Abbey is the official tie-in companion book to the television series Downton Abbey, and it's the second book that we've done with the show. And this one is very character-led, so each chapter is headed up by one or two characters, and we took a triple-layered approach to it. So there's a look at the show itself, the series as if it was a live and present thing, which is how it feels when it comes into our TVs on Sunday night. And then we look at how the production kind of brought all that together. So Julian's scripts, the actors and what they think about their own backstories, the art department, hair and costume and all the, props and all the rest of it. And then the third layer is the social history, so the context in which everything is set, which demonstrates the authenticity of the show. I mean, what is quite interesting is that I think there's quite a different atmosphere on the set. So Highclere Castle, which is the setting for the house, and all the above stairs scenes. It is a real working house. It's been sitting there like that for the last 400, 500 years or whatever, and there is that real sense of its presence as you arrive, and I think it makes all the actors... I can feel myself sitting up straighter just talking about it. You kind of have to have that presence in a room, and you talk in a different kind of a way, and you have to have respect for the house. There's a lot of valuables there. The art department don't put very much in there apart from a few potted palms. All those things like costumes, they really help, and that's partly why it's so important that everything is authentic in the way that it is. It's not just that it looks right for us, but it helps the actors to sit properly. The starched collars, particularly for the men, I gather are particularly horrible, kind of rubbing their necks quite raw. The women obviously have the corsets. They've begun to get a little bit easier now for the third season. They're not quite as constricting, and they have this sort of S-bend shape almost in the first season. So now it's more about flattening the figure out. Nevertheless, they all have to wear them and live with that. But that does make them sit in the right way and walk in the right way. And I think also they've picked it up as they go. Rob Collier, who plays Thomas, says that he doesn't really like watching scenes from the first season because he thinks he was walking the wrong way. Because they learn you're not supposed to put your hands in your pockets and having to sit up and sit down and stand up. I know they had to reshoot a scene when the historical advisor was away that day, and Matthew Crawley didn't stand up when the Dowager Countess came into the room. And they said there was just absolutely no way that could ever have happened. You couldn't possibly air a scene like that, so they had to redo it. Julian said he always begins with the fundamental belief that everybody is good. They start good, and then something may take them off that path along the way. And I think that's what's really interesting about all of the characters, is they're not black or white. They're not goodies or baddies. We can see shades of grey in all of them. Even O'Brien, who's probably the most evil schemer of all, and even Julian would admit that. There are still times when you see her and you think, there are some soft spots in that heart, Now we would probably call her damaged and send her to therapy and things, but then she just had to live her way through it. I always get asked, what's my favourite character? And it's slightly like selecting your children out, because I've got to know them all so well now. I feel like I've seen them develop over 3 seasons and talk to the actors and talk to the production and, all these sort of details that I know about them. That I kind of love them all in their own special way.